Shooting is the master skill in the game of basketball. Would you like to know how to shoot better, how to become a great shooter? Would you like a simple, repeatable way to control the flight of the ball? If you're a coach, would you like an easy and powerful way to coach the skill of shooting? This video will show you how.
Hi, my name is Tom Nordland. First, let me congratulate you on purchasing this video. It will lead you on a powerful journey of discovery and learning that will coach you to extraordinary basketball shooting, both as a player and a coach. Anyone can learn to shoot well. It's really quite an easy motion if you know how. You will learn in this video how to control the flight of the ball, the most important part of shooting. You can stand correctly, you can stare at the rim with great presence and intensity, you can visualize success, you can bring the ball up most perfectly to the set point, and you can have the most beautiful looking release and follow through. But if the ball doesn't fly through the air with a consistent, predictable, and accurate path to the basket, you will not be a great shooter. Note we'll be focusing only on jump shots and free throws because they are the majority of shots, and this is where declining shooting percentages are most evident. The method you'll see is so simple and natural, you can learn it in a short time, in a fraction of the amount of time normally required to learn a new shooting style. And although you may not master it immediately, you will have immediate results. This video comes with a Swish workbook and a special shooting guide you can take with you to the court. Together, these materials will help you discover the great shooter within each of you. Plan to watch the video several times, referring to the workbook for written coaching and a place to make notes. Coaches, please view this as if you were a student of shooting. By going through the learning process, you'll then be able to coach and demonstrate the method. From this video, you'll learn that achieving excellence in shooting is easier than you ever thought. You'll see the value of shooting from a strong and stable power source. You'll learn how to develop an uncomplicated and consistent release motion and how to control distance and direction. You'll see that the release can be one of the simplest propelling motions in sports. With this method, you'll start swishing more and more shots. That's why we call it the Swish method. You will learn how to shoot well from everywhere in your range, improving your free throwing dramatically and being able to incorporate the motion easily with shots off the dribble and under great pressure. We'll talk later about the mental component, how to have a relaxed, focused, and disciplined mind that frees and inspires your body to great performance. These two aspects, physical and mental, working together will permit you to elevate your shooting to great heights. Are you ready? Let's go.
Shooting is the most important skill in basketball, whether you're just shooting for fun and friendly competition or competing on a team. At the team level, it's the most visible of a number of skills required of you, including conditioning, dribbling, passing, moving with and without the ball, setting picks and screens, playing defense and rebounding. Just getting the ball to shoot and getting free can be difficult against today's defenses. If you're not superbly conditioned, your opponents will wear you down and you'll have nothing left to shoot with. Coordinated team movement is necessary to get shooters open, and you have to practice in competition in order to succeed in competition. Here are 3 essential qualities needed to master ball flight and be a consistently great shooter: accuracy, consistency, repeatability. You get accuracy when you have an easy and flexible way to control distance and direction. For consistency, you need the fewest possible variables plus a strong, consistent power source. When you have these qualities, then strive for repeatability. They seem similar, consistency and repeatability, but their meanings are different. Being able to repeat a motion means it is so learned, consistent, and trusted it can go on automatic, and the player can move attention totally from technique to the target. Great athletes and performers in all disciplines have transcended technique. With absolute trust, they focus on their desired goal, not on mechanics. This allows them to connect more strongly with the target, with what they're creating, and the result is extraordinary performance. Can you see the repeatability in the release motion shown here? The goal is a swish, a perfect high-arching shot that comes down at or near dead center every time, not just once in a while by accident. Can you see the potential of this way of shooting? There are 4 important aspects to the Swish method. They are the 4 keys. 1. Come from a strong power source. 2. Minimize variables. Develop a constant release. 3. Aim high and be ready to vary the height. 4. Vary timing as needed. These keys describe a powerful yet effortless, easy-to-repeat motion that will control ball flight and bring the ball into or near the center of the basket every time. Now let's look at each key individually. Let's give a name to the upward force created when you bend your knees and straighten them to jump or make an upward body motion like for a free throw or a set shot. Let's call it the up force. It is a very strong power source. If you shoot from it, that is, if you connect your upper body action to it, your shot gets these 6 benefits. 1. Power. The force is strong, giving you greater range. 2. Height. The force is upward, imparting height to your shot automatically. 3. Elevation. If you jump, the up force elevates you to shoot over an opponent if needed. And these not often thought of reasons, 4. Lets upper body muscles relax. The more power coming from the lower body, the less the upper body muscles, the release, have to do, and they can relax, quiet down, and become constant. 5. Quicker. A shot connected to up force permits you to shoot quicker than if you have to wait for the upper body to generate power. And this most important reason, 6. Stability. The up force muscles are your largest muscles, thus they are slower firing, powerful, and stable. They do not choke. Shooting from up force stabilizes your shooting. This can't be emphasized enough. But note that what's important is not just the strength of the up force, but what percent is utilized. Generally, the higher the percent, the more stable the shot and the greater the probability of it going in. A good rule here is never underjump. Always give your shot at least enough up force to get the ball to the basket with high arch. If you find you have too much force, you can always shoot higher or wait a fraction of a second, call it hang time, to let the leg body energy dissipate a little. If you're underpowered, you'll be short, or you'll have to call in the less reliable upper body muscles to get the ball to the basket. Develop a release that has the fewest possible variables, less to think about and judge, less to go wrong. You will know what to expect. Develop a stroke that's constant and consistent. Make it like a coiled spring, a motion so measured, automatic, known, and repeatable, it's like a spring mechanism that always fires the same, totally predictable. The release starts from the set point, a position above the head and slightly to the right. Getting the ball to the set point should be a simple, quick move with little or no extra motion. As you push your arm from the set point upward to release the ball, the wrist, hand, and fingers of the shooting hand just flop forward. They do nothing to power or guide the shot, thus adding no variables. This motion gives you perfect backspin. The release may send the ball only 3, 4, or 5 feet. Up force provides all the extra power you need. Make it an upward, full-out motion of the arm, wrist, and hand of the shooting arm, a snapping kind of action. The arm straightens to its full extension at the same speed and force every time. Hold your follow-through for a half second to connect more fully to the target.
Make it comfortable at a speed and force you can do hundreds of times in a row without strain. Maybe 75% of maximum will work for you. You decide what is within your capability, neither too fast nor too slow. This is what we mean by full out. And you'll find a full out release is quite pressure proof. When you feel pressure, you can just push on through it to the end of your arm and still get a perfect release. You decide what is within your capability, neither too fast nor too slow. This is what we mean by full out. Shoot very high, almost vertically, and be willing to vary the height with each shot. This is how you control distance, and it's a pressure valve too. This permits you to keep a constant release, and you'll find varying height is instinctive. You don't have to think about how high, you'll know what to do. Allow the ball to fly 4, 5, 6, 8 feet above the basket. Experiment and observe the height. Most players try to keep the same flat arch with each shot and vary the release motion for different distances, different strengths of jump, etc. That's much harder to do consistently, and that's why few of them are great shooters. Why is high so important? The higher the shot, the bigger the basket appears to the ball. The bigger the basket, the larger the landing area, and the more forgiving it is. We show here a rim as seen from 3 different angles, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, and 60 degrees above horizontal, as the ball would see it. From an angle of 30 degrees, the target oval is quite small. It's generally considered that the most effective angle is approximately 60 degrees above horizontal, almost vertical.
By our estimates, the effective landing area for such a shot is over twice as large as that for a 30-degree shot. A 45-degree angle shot has a bigger target than 30 degrees, but less than for a 60-degree shot. And when you shoot upward, gravity has a chance to slow the ball down and make it land more softly. Bigger, more forgiving target, softer shot. Can you see why it's important to shoot high? Timing is when, in your up force, you shoot. With most shots, you'll shoot with the same timing, early, middle, or late, determined by your strength and your body-leg action. Most players will discover it's effective to shoot fairly early in the jump to get a high percentage of up force. But you'll find you can shoot a little earlier or later as needed to compensate for varying demands. This is done when you find yourself outside or inside your normal comfort range, if you're tired, or if you have to shoot quickly due to a defender closing in. This completes the 4 keys. Incorporate them into your shot and shooting well will become much easier. Now we'll go through a simple progression that will teach you the Swish method. The Swish workbook will help you review this later. Work with a friend where possible so you can talk to each other about what you're experiencing and learning. Note, before getting seriously into this, be sure you have spent some time learning how you shoot now. Remember, the first key is to shoot from the powerful upward force of your legs and body we call the up force. The first step is to come to know and feel this energy. We'll do that in 2 exercises. First, without a ball, jump up and down several times and feel how strong and stable your up force is. Experiment with it. Do a big jump, a little jump, a medium jump. Note that it's a column of vertical energy, like a rocket taking off, that can be harnessed for the shot. The muscles of the legs, hips, pelvis, and back are the strongest muscles in your body. Realize you can jump strongly or weakly. It can be a jump off the ground or just an upward motion like for a free throw. Close your eyes and feel it. Notice this force is basically upward, though you can move or jump forward, backward, or to the side. Preferable for a basketball shot is to move exactly upward. Moving forward is okay, but the forward motion adds some complexity. Sideways or backward motion also makes consistent shooting difficult. Your goal will be to shoot as the up force is taking place. The more up force, the greater the power and stability, thus increasing your chances of making the shot. Shooting back and forth with a partner or against a wall, start to connect your shot motion to the up force. Just launch the ball upward, not worrying about where it's going or how you're doing it. Use different amounts of up force. Notice the release can be connected in varying degrees. You can use all of the up force in a shot, a medium amount, very little or none. Start to notice what percent you're using. Though the strength of your up force is important, it's the percent used that's most important. You'll see that the more up force you use, the higher the shot goes, automatically, and the more stable and effortless it will feel. That's because the stronger the up force, the more the upper body release muscles can relax and start to become constant. This is a key point. Too many players miss this power source and have to use upper body muscles to propel the ball. In this second step, we'll develop your release motion and connect it to up force. To develop a constant release, work with a friend or against a wall if by yourself, and start by sitting on the ground or on chairs about 6 or 7 feet apart. Sitting eliminates the legs and body from the equation. Face each other, but turn your body a little to the left, for right-handers, to open up the stance. If you like to be square to the target, that will work, but since it's a one-handed motion, we suggest you open your body position. Shoot back and forth and start to develop a very simple release motion. If you bring the ball straight up to the set point and then just push the arm upward to its natural end with a relaxed wrist, hand, and fingers, what could be easier and quicker? Start with a set point slightly to the right and slightly forward and above your head. From there, it's easy to push the ball up and toward a target. Later, you can move it further up and maybe slightly back. Note that the more overhead you take the ball, the more it becomes a throwing motion rather than a push, and this complicates things. Think of the release as being a coiled spring that can be cocked and then released and will do the same exact motion every time. Same speed, same force. You're starting to learn your pure release motion. Notice what speed and force is comfortable and effective. Learning this relaxed, full-out, and repeatable release is the most important key. Now, standing up and still about 6 or 7 feet apart, start to connect your release to the up force. Pretend you're shooting at a 10-foot basket above your partner and go through the following progression. If alone, your partner will be the wall. First, shoot back and forth with no up force, just as you did sitting. Then move apart a couple more feet and introduce just a little up force to your shots. Keep it small and notice if the release changes. Aim to keep it approximately the same, a full-out snapping motion. Your shots will start going higher and have more range. The more you rely on up force, the easier it will be to keep the release constant and the shots high. The release will start to be triggered and guided by the up force. Slowly move further apart and add more up force. Aim high. Keep monitoring the release to see if it changes. You're now learning to shoot with a relaxed, repeatable release motion connected to your powerful up force. You'll start to feel an effortless, consistent, accurate, and repeatable shot motion. Now it's time to put it all together. Now that your release is becoming more relaxed and consistent, and you've learned to feel and shoot from the up force, let's connect your shot to a target. In pairs or individually, go to a basket. Pairs will have one person shooting and the other rebounding. 2 pairs can share a basket easily, 3 pairs with extra care to take turns shooting. Find a spot close under the basket, just a few feet away, where you can send the ball up to and into the basket effortlessly by use of only the release, no legs or body. First, connect to the basket with your vision, then bring the ball to the set point and, with your pure, full-out release, propel the ball upward to come in high over the rim, at least 1 to 2 feet over the basket, dead center swish. Call this the 0 point, meaning 0 body is used in the shot. It's really a semicircle. Anywhere from 2 feet to 6 feet is perfect. It doesn't have to be further than that. This is not a strength contest, it's a consistency and repeatability contest. In fact, if your release is too strong, you'll have a harder time with close-in shots because you'll have to hold back or shoot extremely high. Every time you practice shooting, start at the 0 point to refresh your pure release. Note, if you're small or young and can't easily get the ball up to the basket without using body power, then find a certain constant amount of leg and body energy that will work for you and incorporate that motion into your constant release. It would be better for you to use a smaller ball so you learn good habits, and if possible, shoot to a 9-foot or even 8-foot basket while you're learning this important shooting technique. If you're extremely strong, consider moving your set point up higher to shorten your pure release and allow you to retain a full-out motion. A higher starting point will also make your shot just that much more difficult to block. When your shot starts to feel easy and repetitive and the ball's coming down softly dead center, have your partner come to your side and close your eyes and shoot. Your partner is there to protect you and catch the ball if it should bounce back at you. With eyes closed, you can feel a lot more and learning is enhanced. Start to trust your release. If it feels awkward or uncomfortable, change it. You will start to make just about every shot and the release will feel effortless and free, still with no leg-body action. After you've both done step A, then move back about 3 feet from the 0 point and start to add up force. All you need from 3 feet further back is a little force. Again, connect first to your target, then bend your knees and create the up force, and do your full-out release aiming high. Remember to shoot from the up force. Be ready to vary the height as needed. The balls will start to fly into the dead center of the basket from high above the rim. You will notice the snapping action of your release when wrist, hand, and fingers are totally relaxed. If your shots are short, add more up force or shoot earlier. If long, shoot higher or shoot a little later in the motion. Close your eyes occasionally to feel more deeply your actions. Seek the feeling of freedom and trust. After you're making shots consistently from this distance, go back another 3 feet. Realize at each further point that you have to supply more up force or you'll be short, or you'll be tempted to use more upper body muscles to get it there. Now it's time to get creative. Shoot from different spots, different distances. Play with different amounts of up force, different heights. Experiment with different timings, early, middle, and late. Find what works best for you. Think up. Think of a rainbow arch. The sky is the limit. You must shoot up for the ball to come down. If you feel too much energy as you go to release the ball, just aim higher. Don't hold back. Varying the arch is how you control distance. Start shooting off the dribble. The principles are the same. Up force is your foundation, your stability. It puts the ball on track to the basket. Always shoot from it. Trust yourself. Let it fly. You're becoming a better and better shooter now. By going through this progression, you are learning a simple yet powerful way to fly the ball to the basket, the swish method, how to be consistent and repeatable. Great shooting is no longer a mystery to you. You're on the path to mastery. Now let's talk about the free throw. It is a critical part of the game, especially at the end of close games. This simple shot is a source of great frustration for many players, including even great NBA players. Yet it's the one shot they have full control over. Why is it so difficult? It's for the same reasons that the jump shot is made difficult. Shot motions are too complicated or variable, or the players tense their bodies in self-defeating ways. Players use less reliable upper body muscles instead of the stable lower body muscles. The resulting arch is often flat, thus reducing the size of the target and minimizing the chance of success. The free throw becomes a guessing game. Minds are expecting failure instead of success. This section will show you how you can make this critical shot more a sure thing, a motion so predictable and repeatable you can be sure of a high percentage of success. Now that you've learned to shoot jump shots from strong, stable up force, and you're developing a constant release action, the free throw becomes a very easy shot. Consider it just a jump shot without the jump. Since they can be the same basic motion, then while taking jump shots you are in effect practicing the free throw motion, and vice versa. The only differences are you're not jumping, though you could, and the free throw can be a one-piece continuous motion like a set shot. Realize that the free throw now has 4 constants. 1. The distance is always 15 feet from the free throw line to the front edge of the backboard and 13 feet 9 inches to the center of the basket. 2. The up force and the timing can become constant through practice. 3. You've learned how to make your release motion a constant. And 4. The height can be approximately constant, though it can be the final adjustment. Think of it as simple math. Up force plus release plus constant height equals 13 feet 9 inches, dead center. When you approach the shot as everything is constant, this is no longer a difficult shot. It's not a guess each time you shoot. You know what's going to come off your fingertips. The shot becomes a sure thing. To simplify things, consider making your free throw stroke a one-piece motion. Whereas the movement of the ball in a jump shot has 2 parts, 1, movement to the set point, and 2, the release, they can be combined into one continuous move for the free throw. This makes for even fewer variables and allows percentages for this shot to reach 90-95% or even higher. You could liken the action to unrolling a coil of rope or snapping a whip to its end. It always finishes at the same distance. It cannot do otherwise. With the free throw, the total body motion from your feet up through your body to the ends of your fingers can become so fluid and consistent, you automatically send the ball the same distance every time. This leads to greater trust in distance. Then all you need concern yourself with is direction. Practice free throws often with your eyes closed, as we did with jump shots. It helps develop feel and encourages trust. The motion can become so automatic and easy you can almost do it in your sleep. Here's a great way to practice distance control. Since the rim is 18 inches inside diameter, if you position yourself about 9 inches in front of the free throw line and shoot with your standard shot motion, the ball should go 9 inches past dead center and hit the back of the rim. Position yourself thus and take the shot, not changing anything. Do not hold back. Your shot will go 9 inches long because you are memorizing a 13-foot, 9-inch distance. Just do your regular practice motion and it will hit the back rim. Do that several times. Then move back of the line about 9 inches, shoot, and expect to hit the front of the rim. Avoid the temptation to add power in this case. This is a practice in distance discipline and a great measure of your consistency. When you can do this, sending the ball long and short on purpose just by moving your address position, you'll be a better and better free throw shooter. With distance control a sure thing, all you have to do to make a very high percentage of your free throws is make sure your aim is straight and success is yours. Here's a suggestion that will help stabilize your free throws. A lot of players start their shots from a crouch and then straighten their legs as they shoot. This gives them an up motion to shoot from. Try this alternative way of initiating your shot. Start from a relaxed, straight-legged standing posture and then just bend and straighten the knees in a down-up motion as you shoot. You'll find this generates a more powerful and stable body-leg action and can become the trigger for your shot. The strong feeling of up force will also give you a feeling of upwardness and ease. It'll feel like you're shooting from your toes through your entire body from a rock-solid base. Here's a checklist for free throws. 1. Take your stance at the free throw line. Get as comfortable as you can and quiet your mind. 2. Relax, take deep breaths, and calm your mind. Realize it's an easy shot, one you've practiced countless times. 3. Go through your usual pre-shot routine, whatever that is. Bouncing the ball a certain number of times, spinning the ball, whatever. But keep it short and uncomplicated. Relax. 4. Focus on the basket. Connect to it and mentally visualize success. You might see the ball coming down softly dead center, or say to yourself, high and soft, or piece of cake, etc. 5. Trigger the shot motion with something like rocking forward to start the knee bend. 6. Feel the up force. Shoot from it. It's your stabilizing force. Shoot with a constant full-out release. Don't hold back. 7. Trust yourself and let it fly. Release the ball upward and trust it will come back down dead center. Keep your eyes on the target and be ready to adjust the height according to how much up force you feel from your legs and body. Let go. 8. Realize you're doing the best you can. You now know how to make these shots in your sleep. You still might get nervous and miss, as we all do. And if that happens, it's not the end of the world. Just relax and do your best. With experience and trust and success, you'll become a wonderful free thrower. 80 to 90% or more is within your grasp.
Let's talk about learning a new or changed skill. Learning happens when we give our remarkable body-brain system different experiences to choose from. It happens usually in small incremental steps, feeling left and right or forward and back, and choosing one or the other. If you remember learning to ride a bicycle, you fell left and right and left, less and less, until one day, bam, you got balance. From that point forward, riding was relatively easy. Before that point, it was difficult. Learning to shoot or improve your shot will also require experimentation and failure. Your body must experience too much and too little in order to know just right. If you're unwilling to experiment and afraid of failure, you will interfere with your learning and slow it down, maybe even prevent it. Avoid being too easily sucked into rating your performance. How am I doing? Did I make the shot? Am I any good? That takes you away from the awareness, trust, and letting go you really need to learn something. It's been said that it's not just practice makes perfect, but perfect practice makes perfect. Consider that that isn't exactly true either. We can't all wait until we're perfect to be perfect. And if we can only learn from perfect shots, then we're in for a long, slow process. The human body, brain, nervous system is much more intelligent than that. It learns from everything, if we pay attention. That's more encouraging. Now we can just go out and pay attention to our shooting and we'll learn. Pay attention to each shot. What do you feel? What do you see? Is it long, short, left, or right? How much? Note where it lands. Give yourself exact feedback and then, without trying to fix it, shoot again. You don't have to consciously correct. Your incredible body will make the proper corrections. We call that learning. It helps to have goals, of course, and it helps to record what we do so we can compare and track our progress. So keep records of your shooting in the beginning and keep a journal of your thoughts and discoveries. It will help in your learning process. The workbook accompanying this video gives you some room to start the process. Because this video is mostly about a physical method for great shooting, we won't spend a lot of time addressing the mental aspects. That will be saved for a future video. However, this subject is very important and we'll say a few things about it here. Some people say that shooting a basketball is mental, especially free throws. Well, it isn't, not really. It's a physical act. It's a physical body propelling a physical rubber ball through the air into a physical basket. No known mental process we've seen can do that. However, we make it mental by the concerns, worries, fears, etc. we bring to it. When you're totally calm in your mind and in the present moment, with the ball, court, opponents, teammates, and basket, shooting becomes a fairly simple act, and you approach your potential. When you go crazy in your mind as you shoot, it becomes very difficult. The goal is a focused and disciplined mind, and then the body is free to perform as well as it can. Practice and workouts and game experience serve to expand your potential. How well you perform up to your potential is a measure of the mental game going on, or how much you interfere with yourself. Tim Gallwey, author of The Inner Game of Tennis and The Inner Game of Golf, described it this way: performance equals potential minus interference. If interference equals 0, performance equals potential. From this simple formula, you will learn that if you don't interfere, you perform at or near your potential all the time. That's pretty exciting. You don't have to try so hard. Just stop screwing things up. It is extremely important to have a high degree of concentration as you shoot. It is the master skill. To practice concentration, practice being really present to the target, your body, and the ball as you shoot. It's also critical to trust yourself, and it helps to minimize doubt and thinking and to have a strong self-image as a shooter. But consider that most of the interference we encounter is due to poor technique and poor success. As you've seen, the basic shot is so easy, you don't have to hype yourself into great performance. The mental aspects of confidence, self-esteem, self-image, etc. will grow naturally if you can put the ball in the basket with great repeatability. That's what this video is all about. Here are a couple of suggestions regarding self-image and a new level of confidence. Who you are being as you go to shoot has a big bearing on how you perform. Great shooters believe in themselves. They are, in their hearts and minds, great shooters. They know they can make their shots. They expect success. If you have been a poor or mediocre shooter, your self-image is one of doubt and expecting failure. It isn't realistic to think you can change that overnight. You live in the world of I can't. You can, however, move your confidence level into neutral and slowly evolve a high state of self-confidence that's based upon your new performance. Neutral just means you don't know what's going to happen. Yes, your past has been such and such. That's true. But it doesn't mean it's going to continue, especially now that you know how to shoot. With a shooting future that's a blank slate, you have possibilities. Then as you start to make shot after shot with this method, you can change the attitude to it's possible I'm a good shooter, then to I am becoming a great shooter, and finally I am a great shooter. It will be natural and automatic when you can drop the ball into the basket with great regularity. And when that happens, there'll be no stopping you. So let go, let it fly. You'll amaze yourself. And if you interfere and screw it up, that's okay. We all do it. Don't beat yourself up mentally. Just reset and do it again the next chance you get, and again until you get it, and you will.
Before we do a review, let's reiterate something that was said early in this video. Being a great shooter means you're able to control the flight of the ball. That's what matters most. How your feet point or how exactly you hold the ball are secondary to whether or not the ball flies through the air with accuracy and consistency. Use the fundamentals as a starting point, but then go beyond them and pay more attention to what happens to the ball. Observe the height of your shots. Know what kind of spin you impart. Notice where power comes from and how you control distance and direction. When those things are reliable and predictable, and you're giving yourself the best chance of success by shooting high and soft, then you'll be on your way to becoming a great shooter. Now let's review the 4 keys of the Swish method. Number 1, power your shot from the energy of the legs and body, from the up force. Number 2, develop a constant release motion, a pushing action, relaxed, full out, always the same speed and force, snapping to the end of your shooting arm. Number 3, shoot very high, being ready to vary the height with each shot. Number 4, vary the timing of your release as necessary. And finally, the last key, the creative step. In that golden moment of shooting, when you're open, you have the ball, and you're free to shoot, believe in yourself. You have prepared for this moment. Connect to the basket, the ball, and your body. Generate up force and shoot from it, high, soft. trust yourself, release it, fly it to the basket. It's really just that simple.
Well, my friends, I hope this video has inspired you and given you the tools you need to become a great shooter. Basketball is a fantastic game, and shooting is its most important element. Shooting hoops is an enjoyable, lifelong skill, and it's a challenge to your ability to learn, to perform what you know, to perform under pressure, to concentrate, to let go. It's a joy to see your body perform motion like the basketball shot with precision and grace, over and over, not just once in a while by accident. To master shooting at a high level will take practice, game experience, dedication, commitment, and discipline. You have to learn to trust yourself when stakes are high, when ferocious defenses are set against you, when you're tired or nervous or excited. The basic skill is becoming easy to you now, and that's the first step. Knowing what to do, great shooting is no longer a mystery. You now have an understanding that wasn't there before. When you miss, you'll know why. You'll know shots are going in as they leave your fingertips. You will see the technique or absence of it in other players everywhere. You'll know why this player is a good shooter and why that one is not. You've been enlightened. So now go out and practice this and master it. Your shooting will never be the same. And one final suggestion. When you become a great shooter, don't keep it to yourself. Tell your friends, teammates, family, and neighbors about this video. Turn younger players onto it. Offer to hold shooting clinics for your school or neighborhood. It'll be great fun for everyone. Stay tuned for the appendix and some exciting exercises and games to develop your shooting skill. And finally, thanks for viewing this video. I wish you great shooting.
Following are what are generally considered the fundamentals of shooting. They are fundamentally important, and that's why they're called that. But don't let your learning or coaching stop there. They are just the basics. With them as a foundation, you can build a strong, effective, and reliable shooting style. With one-handed shots, there is a shooting hand and a support hand, also called the guide hand, balance hand, etc. The ball is held by the two hands such that feel and control are maximized. The support hand is basically under the ball and to the side for support and drops away during the release. Find a comfortable position that works for you. The ball rests in the shooting hand on the pads of the fingers and on the upper pad of the palm, not touching the center of the palm. Fingers are just naturally spread wide apart, flexed but not tense. If you have small hands, it's especially important to spread the fingers to give the ball the widest possible support. Allow some tension in your fingertips to help control the ball until you release it. How much tension? Hold the ball in your hand and add just enough tension so the ball doesn't roll off your hand when you move it in a gentle circle horizontally. Why not the palm? The finger pads allow you to control the flight of the ball better, and the spin is more consistent. If the ball is in contact with the palm, spin will be greater and less consistent. Stance. First, you want to generally face the basket before you start the shot. This gets you in touch with the target and positions the body to minimize extra motion. Some instruction says you should square up to the basket, meaning shoulders and hips are perpendicular to an imaginary line to the basket. Although you can learn to shoot this way, because it's a one-handed shot, it's more natural to rotate a little bit to the left of the basket with feet, hips, and shoulders. That's for right-handers, opposite for lefties. The shoulders will turn more than the hips. Watch good shooters. Almost every one of them turns slightly, or a lot, to the side for jump shots and free throws to open up the shoulder for a freer motion. Some of the greatest shooters in the game turn as much as 45 degrees. Have your feet about shoulder width apart and let your feet position themselves naturally. They'll find the proper, effective stance, with the right foot forward and the left foot back a bit or a lot, and turn slightly outward. No rules here. Again, find what works for you. With your body erect without being stiff, you bend forward slightly at the waist as you go to jump. Bend the knees and straighten them to give you the upward motion, a jump or not, that powers the shot. Jump off the balls of your feet. Aim to jump or move straight upward. As you start the jumping or body rocking motion, bring the ball from in front of you up to the set position with the shooting hand cocked back at the wrist. The body leg motion and the setting of the ball happen at the same time, not in a disjointed way. The shot is then triggered by the body leg action either quickly on the way up using maximum force or with some hang time, either middle or late in the jump, using varying amounts of body-leg force to power the shot. Vision. Keep your eyes on the basket during your shot because that is the target. Resist the temptation to look up to watch the flight of the ball. It will only take you away from your target. Confident shooters do not watch the flight of the ball. That's like an archer taking his eyes off the target and watching the arrow in flight. It takes your concentration and focus off the target for just a fraction of a second and can throw off your intent and your follow-through. If you want to look at the ball on purpose to watch rotation or direction or height, then do so in practice, intentionally. But in game situations, keep your eyes focused on where you want the ball to go at all times. This strengthens your will, your resolve, your connection to the target. Focus on the front rim or the back rim directly down the center line. Your vision can be soft rather than hard. Seeing the basket will be enough. Your body will know what to do and where the basket resides in space. A suggestion is to focus on the front rim and visualize the ball coming in from high above, dead center. Try different focuses and find what works best for you. Set position. The release starts from what's called the set position, the set point, or shooting pocket. This is a position with the forearm of the shooting arm basically vertical, the elbow bent approximately 90 degrees, and the shooting hand cocked back as far as it naturally goes. If you bring the ball above your eyes, it will be exactly like a waiter would cock his wrist to hold a tray of plates over his head. Find a ball position that's consistent and comfortable. Above your eyes and head is preferable to below the eyes because it reduces the chance of it being blocked. However, younger and smaller players may have to lower it in order to have enough strength to shoot easily. Strong players can experiment with moving it up even higher above the head to shorten the release and make the shot more difficult to block. Very young players should use a smaller ball and 9-foot or 8-foot baskets so they don't have to strain and can learn good shooting habits. If the ball is brought over your head too far, the resulting release motion becomes a throw rather than a push. A throwing motion is horizontal, thus flattening your shot and making smaller the target as you saw earlier. Let your forearm be relaxed and comfortable and basically vertical. It doesn't have to be exactly vertical. How vertical will depend naturally on how much you open your body and where over your head you start your shot. The more you open your body, the more vertical your shooting arm becomes naturally. Note also that the more you open your body to the basket, the more your head moves under and behind the ball naturally. This helps with accuracy as you get a more connected view of the target and the ball, and it's then easier to push your arm directly at the target. What really matters is that the extension of the arm in the release and follow-through be the same every time, and that the arm extends directly toward and above the basket. If your backspin is medium and rotating perfectly backward, and the ball goes exactly wherever you push your arm, then you know your hand position, arm position, and extension are working just fine. Release and follow through. Make the shot just a simple pushing action of the shooting arm to the normal end of its extension, aiming high. From the set position, with the wrist cocked and the fingers slightly flexed, as you push the arm upward and forward, the wrist, hand, and fingers let go and do nothing. They finish totally relaxed. This is very important, the key to accuracy and repeatability. The follow-through is directly toward and above the basket, almost straight up. The wrist is relaxed and the hand flops forward. Hold the follow-through briefly to finish the motion and stay connected to the target. These then are the fundamentals. Look at them as guidelines to shooting, not as hard and fast rules. Here are some exercises and games to test your new shooting skills. Refer to the Swish workbook as well. In the back of it is a section where you can record your scores. Also, there's room to start a journal of your thoughts, experiences, and discoveries. First, use any standard shooting drills to practice and record your shooting skill. Find ways to value a swish higher than a shot that hits the rim or backboard. Here are some new ways to practice shooting. This is an exercise that will amaze you. You don't even have to look at the basket when you shoot. Set something on the floor or ground directly under the net and shoot while keeping your eyes focused on it. You'll find you can shoot quite well this way with the swish method because of the upward and high arching shots you create. The marker gives you the exact location of the basket. You know it's 10 feet in the air above that spot, and all you need to do is send the ball high in that direction. The large, forgiving target will receive the ball. You'll even find you can swish a lot of these shots, so precise is your new control. A visor or cap pulled way down can be added to block your view of the basket. This is another exercise in control and precision that will boggle your mind. Since the inside diameter of the rim is 18 inches and the ball is 9.5 inches in diameter for men and 9 inches for women, that leaves about 4 inches on each side of the ball where you can still swish it if you come in from on high. As you look at the basket to shoot, intentionally move your gaze 4 inches off center to the right and have the intention of just brushing the inside right edge of the rim with the ball. With a little practice, you'll find you can do it easily. Just stay focused and trusting and push your shooting arm in that new direction. When you can do that, then move your focus 4 inches left and do the same thing. Give feedback. Each time you shoot, say how many inches left or right of center the ball actually landed. You'll be able to tell quite accurately since 4 inches to either side will brush the inside rim. When you can shoot this way consistently, notice how easy it is to send the ball to dead center. It's a huge target. You might think that only very accomplished shooters could possibly do this drill, but you'll find you can do it now too. You now have a shot that goes much higher than before. You will find you can stand behind friends who are shooting 10, 12, 15-foot shots or longer and actually shoot in sync with them, but higher. The goal is to have both your shots go in, theirs first, then yours, swish, swish. It takes a few tries to get the timing, but then you'll have a lot of fun with this. Your friends will be amazed you can shoot so high and so accurately. Often their shots will miss and yours will swish. Then you can teach them the swish method. Get a group of 3, 4, or even 5 players who know the swish method and line up in tandem, one behind the other. Start the closest one about 10 feet from the basket and the next 3 or 4 feet behind him or her, etc. Shooting from straight out is easiest for retrieving missed shots. On a count of 1, 2, 3, go, the closest person shoots first, then the next furthest away, etc. Start with a pause between each shot and slowly tighten up the time so eventually all the balls are in the air at the same time. With practice and focus, you'll see swish, swish, swish up to 5. Shoot from the baseline for a more thrilling challenge and view. Give a friend a broom or long stick and start him or her under the basket. Ask the friend to come slowly toward you with the broom high in the air as if a 7-foot center with long arms was coming to block your shot. Shoot over the broom to practice getting your shot off quickly and very high. Practice shooting from behind the backboard, both from inbounds on the baseline, over the edge of the basket, and from different angles from out of bounds. You'll be amazed at how accurate you can be. It will teach you to use a lot of up force and to shoot almost straight up. As you get good at shooting from just behind the basket, either straight behind or at an angle, you'll find you can move further back at an angle out of bounds and shoot from 6 feet, 8 feet, even 10 to 15 feet back, and still make shots. They have to be extremely high and perfectly aimed, but it's possible. With the swish method, you can practice the technique with a lighter weight ball, a heavier ball for stronger players, a shorter basket, a taller one. It doesn't matter. It will take the body a few shots to adjust, but quickly you'll be able to develop a constant release, power the shot from larger muscles, and start to be consistent and accurate with a new ball or target. You'll get dramatic evidence of how intelligent your body is. This is a great exercise. Teach yourself to shoot with the opposite hand. It's a great learning experience and will reteach you the principles of the swish method. You'll learn the value of powering your shot from up force. You'll see how a constant snapping release permits great accuracy, consistency, and repeatability. You'll see how higher shots are softer and more forgiving. You'll experience how a full-out release with varying height is a kind of pressure valve, and how it sharpens your shooting. Though you may feel uncoordinated this way at first, you'll find that when you shoot from powerful up force, the weaker hand can easily perform the no-brainer release and make shots effortlessly.
This is a bonus selection of clips of pure Swish shooters I've accumulated the last couple of years. They demonstrate very clearly the Swish method. This is a great shooter from Indiana warming up, practicing her beautiful release motion with minimal leg action. Just watch. This is one of Northern California's best high school players and a wonderful shooter. See that she has the same stroke with her free throws. Over and over the same. Here you can see 4 kids practicing their release motions from different distances and different amounts of leg energy. When the release is automatic and accurate, your shooting will soar. Here's a player from Chicago doing the same practice. Observe the simplicity, no wasted motion. See the open stance and release in line with the eye. Power comes from the leg drive or up force. The release is a push with elbow locking, hand flopping, rather than a flip or throw. The wrist and hand are relaxed, and the hand actually flops or bounces in the follow-through. A pushing action is much simpler and more repeatable. The release's job is just to put the ball in the basket, and the job of the wrist and hand is to cradle the ball and deliver it on line in the direction dictated by the arm's motion, not to add power. The result is a generally high-arching shot with great predictability and repeatability. Repeatability means it's something you can do over and over with little or no variation. The shot can go on automatic. That's the goal. This is the kind of shooting anybody can learn to do. It's uncomplicated and doesn't take extreme athletic talent to do these simple things. Shot after shot, you can just see the simple repeatability in these strokes. As you move back, leg power is added, but the release stays the same. The final piece of the puzzle is controlling distance, and that's done by simply varying the arch at the last instant, higher or lower depending on the strength of the body power and the distance to the basket. Aim in general for at least medium-high arc, and then you can always adjust up or down as needed. Once you have this kind of stroke and control of ball flight, then you can work on developing shots with movement, catching and shooting, shooting off the dribble, coming off screens, working with picks, runners and floaters, etc. The point is you want the release to become automatic. You straighten the arm, lock the elbow, and let the hand just flop forward on line. Swish after swish. Can you see the repeatability in these strokes? Players who learn this method acknowledge they can make 5, 10, 15 shots in a row anytime they want. They'll miss a few shots once in a while, but they can always immediately get back on track and start swishing shots again. Here's one of Indiana's top high school players in 2004 doing the same thing. See the alignment and the relaxed wrist and hand. His stance is open a bit. He could be a little more open in my opinion, as much as 30 to 45 degrees, but he's a great shooter as he is. Here's a left-hander shooting off the dribble. An hour earlier, he was short-arming everything, and now he's learned to straighten his arm and lock the elbow in the follow-through. And now he's making shot after shot after shot, much more consistent and predictable. See how his up-force drives and stabilizes his shooting. Here are some more shots taken off the dribble, catching the leg energy early, moving left and right, different distances. Look at the beautiful repeatability of these strokes. The great ball flight to the center of the basket. See how the whole body is working together. Here's another example. Swish after swish after swish. It's thrilling to shoot like this. Here are 3 girls practicing shooting off the dribble. See how easy and effortless their shooting is. This is how to practice, starting small and slow, learning how to coordinate all emotions, and making all your shots. Here's an interesting sequence: a swish shot, and then a bank shot, and then a swish shot again. Note that the bank shot is a different stroke. It requires a wrist flipping motion. I hope these clips inspire you to go out and practice and really take on the swish method described in this DVD. It's a simple approach, but it does take learning. And let it be a joyful exploration. You're learning some amazing stuff here, how to control the flight of a basketball. And when you can put the ball into the basket like these players all the time, you'll be a valuable member of any team you play on. You'll be a shooter.